Our Pro Tour testing era, we're playing Red Black Goblins, a deck that I've always liked a lot and carried us back during the last trophy race really hard. And I know we were experimenting with like builds with Tyvar for a little while that I think still are pretty solid, but for some reason like the Tyvar builds with like Noble Hierarch and Tyvar felt like exceptionally weak to creativity, where you're playing Ignoble Hierarch, which is super soft to run in 6, and Tyvar opens you up to Spell Pierce a bit more. It's just so much easier for them to pick you apart. But when you play this more like old school version of Goblins, or like just the straight red black with like 4 Hordemaster. I guess I was playing Hordemaster in one of the Tyvar builds, but you're playing Hordemaster, you're playing Ringleader, you're playing just like 4 Matron, you're playing a Pashalik Mons, so like sometimes you just win with Pashalik Mons Sling-Gang. This plan is like I think a lot more resilient, which is really exciting. The sideboard is also like to me looking really clean, where you're like in this build compared to like the Tyvar version, you're a really good Chalice stack, you're a really good Magus stack, Trashmaster is a great card, Fury is a great card, Orvar is tutorable with your Goblin Matrons, which is awesome. This build is looking really clean to me, which I think is exciting. It looks like we have a chest cold open as well. Hello Spikeling, and welcome back to the Shark Typhoon. Another day of Pro Tour testing. I'm your gracious host and future Pro Tour Barcelona champion, Aspiring Spike, and today we're going old school with a Goblin deck. Can our horde of cuddly little gobos still compete in Modern, or we need to go back to the drawing board and find our winning deck? Stay tuned to find out. You can get on the ground floor by supporting a future Pro Tour winner with like, sub, follow, and more. Thank you. Yeah, there's let's keep it for science on the play. I'm not sure. Like double Hordemaster, like in theory, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to do with our mana if these die. And Goblins is a kind of mana hungry deck, so you don't mind necessarily keeping a hand like this. How certain am I about 23 lands? I've never been more certain of anything in my entire damn life. I would, I mean, I played a lot of this deck on the stream, and I used to be very confident in 24 lands back when this was a deck that played like 3 or 4 Goblin Ringleader, and then the mana curve was a bit higher before Hordemaster got printed, and then Hordemaster gets printed, and you're like mostly cutting like your Ringleaders for Hordemasters, which I think allows you to lower the land count by 1. To me, Goblins again is a very mana hungry deck compared to other tribal strategies, and I know it's odd to play so many mana sources in a deck like this, but I like it a lot. I think that you could also play a second copy of Den of the Bugbear as like an extra like mana flood insurance, but you have a lot of built-in mana flood insurance with your Matrons and your Ringleader and your Hordemaster and all this kind of stuff. Whoa! Opponent has had quite the turn 1 here. Probably should have played Auntie's Hovel, well that doesn't really matter. Whoa. Bring over the cards to show the image. Yeah, that's feedback I gave. Right now you can click on the card to get the image, right? Hope of Gyapur. Are they playing Kethis combo? I think they're playing Kethis combo. Which means we're going to have a lot of good sideboard cards, right? We're going to be able to bring in the Trashmaster. Potentially some... Magus of the Moon seems like it destroys their mana base. I doubt they have much removal. I don't know if Chalice... I guess Chalice does stop the combo, so we can play some Chalices as well. Game 1, this kind of like slow, resilient hand we kept is maybe not gonna line up super well against them. No split between Magus and Blood Moon? Not at the moment. So at the moment I'm thinking I'm not bringing in these cards against creativity. I'm just bringing in the Orvars, and I think that if you... And I'm also like not necessarily wanting to be on a Blood Moon plan against Omnath, although maybe I should be. And so I'm not, you're an Aether Vial deck, so like the Magus of the Moons like have, some extra value there over the Blood Moons if you mostly just want these for Tron and Titan, which are on the uptick, or decks like this where like your opponents just don't have much removal. But it's a conversation, I'm sure. But at the very least, I don't know, the Magus of the Moon, Blood Moon debate, it's not super interesting. I think that it's a lot of like very small margins, but we can maybe figure it out. Kazar with the 6 months, thank you. Against Giganta, I'd mull probably. I feel like Giganta is like very often like Fair Breach or Prowess. I feel like the Hordemasters are kind of good there, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe it's mull again. Is a Murktide testing session this week? It's not necessarily on the docket. I haven't played Murktide in a long time. Although I do kind of think that I would probably rather play Fair Breach than Murktide, especially for the like expected metagame. Do you ever want more fetches and less rainbow lands to shuffle for Snoop? You could, yeah. I mean, it's like, let's see, there's like one thing, your Mires are really good, right? Obviously, because you get your mountain or your basic swamp for Blood Moon. It's a bit awkward to play non-red fetch lands in like the mostly red deck, right? And it's also like very awkward. But it's also awkward to play non-black fetch lands in a deck that has Magus of the Moon in the sideboard. And so like I always feel like there's a little bit of pull, you know. I think there's like a little bit of pull between those two. And so that's usually why I just like to play like 8 rainbow lands, 4 Hovel, 4 Mire, 2 Crypts, 3 basics. But in the Tyvar build we were on more fetch lands, of course. Well, I guess I'm playing that this turn. And not attacking. Prismatic Vista. It's been a long time since I've had a like suggestion for Prismatic Vista and like haven't hated it, but you can't play a ton of those copies without playing more basics either, but you could do it. It's not like Courtyard taps for black under Moon anyways. Sure, what's your point? I'm confused as what the thought is there. In consideration or rainbow lands, which color fetch lands don't matter under Magus? Rainbow shuts off. What did I say to spur this? Because I'm talking about like when you're putting a fetch land in your deck. In this mostly red deck, you want red fetch lands. And in a deck with Magus of the Moon, you want to be able to fetch your swamp. And so there's tension between needing red fetch lands, but also not liking fetch lands that aren't black, because they can get you swamp in your Magus of the Moon deck. I'm not sure. I thought I phrased that really well. I'm just confused how we're confused here. I'm sure I said something. Yeah, it's like red fetch land and Courtyard are like the same card under Moon, but one of them doesn't cost you any life, you know. And is like, you know, these lands are pretty good. They enter untapped and they tap for any color, and they cost you no life, you know. Yeah, I feel like the first match of like every day, it's like we just play against random deck. We play against a deck that we play against an opponent who it takes forever. It's always the first match that's like this. It's so funny. Yeah, they're not making a second construct. Is Team of Rhinos or 5-color Rhinos better? I'm really partial to 5-color Rhinos, but I'm like really partial to like main deck binding sideboard Blood Moon. I really like that build, but I know not everybody does. Have you played the Lies of P demo? I haven't even heard of the Lies of P demo, and I would have no idea what that is. I've been playing Marvel Snap, and I've been watching Esther play Tears of the Kingdom, but I haven't really been doing any other gaming besides that and Magic. And yeah, I guess D&D also. I guess I do a lot of gaming, huh? Decision of valuing shuffling for Snoop versus life loss. I think it's the decision of valuing shuffling for Snoop versus the life loss less than Rainbow Ledge. Sure, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. And to me, I think that like it's like one weird thing is like if you played 6 fetch lands, you probably want to have. We have 5 fetchables right now, but only 4 of them are fetchable by your only red sources. So you maybe want to add an extra like fetch land target, and then so you could do -4 courtyards plus like 3 red fetches plus 1 red fetchable. I think that would be totally fine. That would be totally fine. I don't know which is better though, shuffling for Snoop or the life loss thing. The life loss is very relevant. Like having like a really painless mana base is very cool in my opinion. Would I add the Lord of the Rings Goblin to the deck? I want to try it. Yeah, I wouldn't play more than like 1 copy probably, but it could end up being like impressing and then you end up playing more than 1 copy. Value Tamashi, huh? Any Lord of the Rings releases this weekend? No, I got a very busy weekend. My opponent got this as a deck dono. They aren't familiar with the deck. That's funny. Not equipping Shadow Spear. This is just non-creature spells, right? Yeah, literally. You know, Metal Mage, Aether Vial. Yeah, we're talking about the Double Striker. I'm gonna be an MTG ambassador. I think that's just for Arena, right? I think you have to stream Arena to be an MTG ambassador. Although they did invite me to the early access event today. I considered playing it more than I usually do, but I figured it wasn't like really a great use of time. Would it take for me to move to arena? A lot, I guess. I think we're sending in with the team. Block here, block here. It's actually pretty bad if they block my Sling-Gang, right? So we just attack like this. The block a 4/4 to take the least amount of damage in theory. Take 10 down to 8, and then I don't quite have lethal. Could find lethal though by looking for War Marshal. I got a lot of looks for a War Marshal even. Would you do any Lord of the Rings draft prep on stream? I would never, ever. No, I would do some. I will do some, I think. Revisit the Blue-White Soul Horde Infinite Blink. Yeah, that could be one that's maybe a bit better to play tested paper, but I'll be down. Okay, so these are both gonna die. But I'm okay with them just both dying down so that I get the max damage on the goblins. Yeah, well, for me to play Arena, I would have to be interested in playing Arena. And, you know, I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't know if that's Moderns on Arena or the Arena there's some format on Arena that looks really juicy, but it's not really too much more complicated than that. Okay, so if I get Pashalik Mons, am I still, I'm 1 point short? Yeah, I think I'm exactly 1 point short of if I had played the Mons here. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. So, do I want to kill Emery, I guess is the question. No, I think we can just try to kill Kethis, or like, have the ability to kill Kethis. Where did they equip the spear? I think they just punting, I don't know. They could have something, but I think they just messed up. Should there have been 6 triggers, not 5? I think it's because, so like, the goblin on the right dies to combat damage, and then the other goblin dies to state-based effects because it has 2 damage on it from the Tamashi. So I think 5 is correct. You can kill Construct and Giapur? Yeah. I'm really not too scared of the Shadow Spear, I don't know. It's like, if they attack with it, it's not that scary, and if they leave it up to block, it's not that scary. But maybe it's still correct. It just costs me so little to kill this Construct. And I can still kill a Kethis. Kethis is a 3/3 or 4/4. Kethis is a 4/4, so I can't kill Kethis if I kill the Construct, so I think I need to save it for that. Is Lord of the Rings draft on Arena today through early access? Because that would be technically interesting poacher testing. I mean, I'm going to have plenty of time to draft. I don't know. I think it's just constructed on early access. I haven't played an early access event since like Kaldheim on Arena. There was one of them I really wanted to do. I think I really wanted to do Strixhaven early access, but they didn't invite me that time. I haven't been back since. And I haven't been back since. There is draft on early access. Okay, cool. Well, we could be practicing that. That's okay. I don't feel like that's like the most interesting thing to be doing. If it was yesterday, I would have done it. Would have been nice if it was yesterday. What are they doing? I'm very confused what their plan is here. Like, why are they just like milling themselves so aggressively? If you're supposed to when you play Kethis. Rice Stocks, 28 months, thank you. Recommission? Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm deck teching their donut deck. Alright. Chromatic Star has entered the stack. Grinding Station untaps. Interact with Unearthed Kethis? Maybe. I mean, like, me, I have to, like, lose my whole boards to kill a Kethis if they have one, so we're not in great shape, potentially. 12-minute game 1? Yeah, it's been longer than that. They've used 12 minutes on their clock. Plus my 4, so 16. Yeah, the cards on Magic Online they say next Tuesday, which like can't be right. I think the official date is next Tuesday. Maybe it is next Wednesday. It's almost always Wednesday. Next week sometime. It's gonna be a very, very exciting time. I did the Lord of the Rings PowerPoint yesterday. I can give y'all a sneak peek. I haven't recorded the video yet, but I spent a few hours making the PowerPoint. Yeah, I've got a new idea for Magic jargon, paper clips instead of staples. What do y'all think? Because it's like, they're not staples, but they're also like generic good cards. You know what I mean? These cards are all very interesting where they're not staples, but they're also not build-arounds, they're not archetype role players. They're just like, they're not as good as staples, but they're still playable. It's very weird dynamic to me. Channel Takanuma, how did we get here? Return Kethis, play a land. Spike, they're at 9. Oh, they're at 9! I mean, how could you blame me for, like, losing my attention during this turn, you know what I mean? It's literally game 1 of the day, like, coffee hasn't kicked in. It's just every day 1 lately, it's like the weirdest game I've ever played in my entire life, and my opponents are playing so slow. It's always so funny. How it happens like this the first match of every day. Cool. I'm extending my stay in Barcelona to turn into vacation. Yeah, I've never been to Europe before, so me and us are gonna spend a couple weeks there. Might go to like Italy, might go to a few different countries over there. We still haven't like completely planned it out yet. We're talking about it still. Okay, like 2 chalices. I think the Magus's look great. Trashmaster looks great. The Mons seems pretty cuttable. Ringleader seems good to cut when you bring in so many non-goblins. Can trim a Matron. And trim the Fanatics. They don't look particularly like they have any targets besides Hope of Gia per. Propose in Paris. I don't know. I don't know if I don't feel like either of us are like very attached to Paris. Sorry, Nasif, if you're watching. That was a joke. I don't know. I don't know. I need to pick a place. I need to pick a place. I kind of want to like propose early into the trip so that we can like, you know, be celebrating, you know. If that makes sense. Okay, these were Esther's favorite slides, okay? So I'll from the PowerPoint, hold on. Oh, hello Lucy, hello. So it's always so boring to talk about the Lord of the Rings, like the sideboard cards and like the basic land cyclers, but I feel like I have to talk about them. I just put all the sleeping characters from Lord of the Rings because it's so boring. Wait, how do you? Okay. Propose before the trip. Now that she'd never see that coming. Lucy, wait, come on, come back. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to her immediately. She's like, I'm out. Come on, get in the chair. Come get in the chair, Lucy. Come on. Dude, wow, I grabbed all of the dogs today. Yeah, during security checkpoint, it'd be funny. Do you keep one Fnatic to put on top of to get rid of Sling-Gangs? I mean, how are they gonna get rid of Sling-Gangs? Like, I don't think you keep that in case they like are surgical your Sling-Gangs somehow, you know. Alright, opponent's taking the full. Time for sideboarding too. Get a copy of the One Ring and then propose. Cheaper that way. When do you expect it to be up on YouTube? Today or tomorrow. Definitely keeping. Great hand. I've drawn 2 Sling-Gang more than seems fair. I mean, sure, you can draw 2 Kiki-Jikis literally any given game too. You know what I mean? It's like, it's also like when you draw out of your combo, you just get to play a fair deck too. It's not like the end of the world. And like, again, Mogg Fanatic is like the worst card, like one of the worst cards you could draw in this matchup. So just, you know, you have to draw both Sling-Gangs or both Kikis. Honestly, the London Mulligan was so huge for the Goblin combo deck. I'm trying to think, has it always existed with the Goblin combo? Or was Snoop printed before the Goblin combo? Or was Snoop printed before the London Mulligan? That's kind of a fun question. But just like the fact that you get to like put the Kiki on the bottom if you mulligan and it's in your opening hand is such a big deal. Snoop was printed after, yeah, I can't remember. It's all so blurry in my mind. When was the London Mulligan? Like what era or like what year, I guess? To me, it's honestly easier to differentiate between like Magic eras than it is to like remember what year something was printed. Any thoughts on Diablo? I've never played a Diablo game, and I haven't played this one, but a lot of people are saying they like it. Around PT London. 2019, 2018, I see. Yeah, I heard Archfiend combo was fixed on Moto. I don't think it's something that you want to play in Modern, probably, but there's like in Pioneer, there's not that many decks without creatures. There's a couple, but even like Lotus Field plays Grazer, and like, you know, Blue White Control has Wandering Emperor tokens, but in Modern, there's I think enough decks that just don't have creatures that it's a little bit rougher. Okay, it looks like I'm dead. Although, can't I technically brick by just like not milling enough legendary cards? I could be only playing one Prospector, usually running 3, cutting a War Marshal, 1 land. I mean, I personally am not like that into Skirk Prospector. I think you want like exactly 1 copy, but I personally don't like really like love drawing the card very often. I would basically never play less than 23 lands, and like so it's hard for me to really view Skirk Prospector as like a mana source also. Also, it doesn't make almost any sense to cut Mogg War Marshals if you're playing more Skirk Prospectors, because without War Marshals, your Prospectors are much worse. Like, your Prospectors are much, much worse if you don't have the full 4 Marshals. Prospector is good. One of, we need to turn to Blood Moon. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a fair assessment. But I tend to think it's like your worst Goblin even, and like there's some like weird corner cases that like you need to tutor for it to get out of a situation. But I'm not like super into the card. I think it tends to be like a bit win more. Like, it's good when you have like lots of Prospector is good when you have lots of goblins in play and lots of cards in your hand. And most situations are good for you when you have lots of goblins in play and lots of cards in your hand. The card it can definitely be clunky to draw. Very good against Living End for sure. But again, it's just like these are the examples you are giving for Prospector. It's good against Living End. It's good with Blood Moon. It's not good. It's good, like, very situationally. Do you count Vials a land? Nope. Sometimes I do, but not really in this deck, because you're just so mana hungry. Monkey with 18 months, thank you. Goblins is a very, very mana hungry deck. Like, I'm not really interested in playing less than 23. 2-2 split between Fanatic and Prospector since Hordemaster got printed. Thinking for us has been huge. I mean, I think that's fine. I'm a big Mogg Fanatic fan. I am a big Mogg Fanatic fan, especially like in the Goblin the Dwarven Mine metagame. Can someone tell me when my opponent? Yeah, I guess they just don't have the legendary cards in the yard. They just don't have them. My opponent says GG's Dono deck. Okay. Always the weirdest match of the first match of the day. Another thing about Prospector too, and if you're running 2 copies, it's not that big a deal, but you really almost never want to draw 2 copies in the course of a game. So like I would basically never play 3. 2 for sure. I don't like this hand very much. I'm gonna go to 5. This hand's just too bad. 22 lands, huh? Okay, roll the 4. I'm definitely keeping 2 land Snoop. Probably just keeping Cavern's Courtyard. And then keep the Hordemaster. To like unmulligan a bit. Any chance the new Orc makes into Goblins? Wait! Hold on. Is that card an Orc or a Goblin? Okay, it's a Goblin now. Or maybe you're talking about a different card. I'm like pretty sure that this card was an Orc during development. I'm not 100% sure. I might be misremembering, but I think during development this was an Orc, and I was like, can we make this not an Orc? Abundant Growth is usually, of course, like a really interactive deck, so maybe I need, well, although like the Hordemaster is so bad into a Ren and 6, we'll just play the Snoop. We need things to go well for us, right? Orcish Bowmaster. Oh, we're talking about that card? Wait, why did we play that card here? Shift with 3 years. Hope you're doing well. Oh, we're up against Enchantress? Gross. Yeah, I like the Gore's Aether Mage's touch deck too. What do you do against Enchantress? Just lose, probably. We have, like, no good sideboard plan. think I just cast the Mons. I'm not really sure. Gorbag of Minas Morgul. I mean, I don't hate that card, but it's worse than this card, right? I think the card is worse than this card I pulled up. Moria Marauder, but I could be wrong. I mean, they can be flooded. That card is also like not super. I mean, you can build your mana to make it castable, but drawing cards to make your treasures hot. Yeah, but you have to like sack your goblins, so I don't know. It's like this isn't quite draw a card, but it's also like a red goblin instead of a black orc, which is just makes it like so much like more castable. 1/1 double strike is better against Ragavan, worse against Rin and 6. I don't know. I mean, I don't hate that other card, but like I mostly think that this one is better, and then I'm not. Yesterday I was thinking I wasn't that into the other card. Okay, let's go to game 2. Very very tough matchup for sure. We can just try to like maybe cheese them with the combo. I wonder if Chalice on 1 is any good against them. It doesn't seem terrible. They probably have like. I guess it's probably like 8 1-drops. Yeah, not that good, huh? Not that good. Could play like a Fury or like a Mogg Fanatic, maybe 2 Fury, 2 Fanatic, but I don't even like it. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a YouTube video. I was trying to get this recorded yesterday, but I just didn't have time. The PowerPoint itself took a really long time. Just like the front meme page always takes like an hour. Just painting, you know, just painting. Oh, want the nice? Okay, so yeah, I didn't count Utopia Sprawl in my head for some reason. I did count on the nice. Yeah, this is definitely like a matchup that like it's pretty realistic to try to dodge it at the PT, you know. But also like we could just also try to Snoop combo quickly. Stomping Ground, interesting. Alright, so take up the Vial to 2. I think we're just matroning for another Snoop. And we can wait on the Vial until their end of turn. Do you think the modern PT will probably encourage WotC to act something, and why is it red? It's so funny. Every time there's like a modern Pro Tour, like historically, it's this. There's always like the mental gymnastics of like, what? I have a vision for modern. Is it possible that my vision gets enacted because of this modern Pro Tour? It always happens. It's so weird. I want Rin and 6 ban. Do you think that might happen because of this? I feel like I should take up the Vial to 3 because if I hit Matron, I can win. Of course, like leaving it on 2 lets me like Vial in the Mogg War Marshal cast the Sling-Gang, but I think I'm gonna try to play 2, winning this turn, which I have failed to do, fortunately. But either way, you know, if I said yes or if I said no, I would just be guessing, of course. This targets, right? Yeah, targets, so it doesn't get through the confinement. Found a 1 of Battlecry Goblin to be good in Goblins. Yeah, you know what? I think you might be right about that. I liked Battlecry Goblin a lot in Pioneer, and I know Pioneer is a really different dynamic. But I did. Could you just have Vial the War Marshal trigger on the stack? I could have, but I don't. If you were listening, you would have known that I said that I wanted to be able to find Matron on top, cast Matron, Violin, Harbinger to win. I should have revealed this first. No, I mean, I'm a Rakdos Goblin deck. I don't have any outs to the lock, although they can theoretically be so flooded that they lose the lock. So we're going to play it out, but we're probably just dead. They have Blood Moon in their deck post-board, which is sad. Okay, okay, we'll let them, we'll concede to like one more enchantment, probably. Okay. Good enough for me. then like I need to have the outs to win a turn sooner. I also have Matron in my hand, so like if they do want the nice the Snoop like they did, I can get another Snoop and I have like lots of looks at the combo otherwise, right? Like I feel like it was still right to play the Snoop on turn 2 like I did, but you are right that I probably would have won. Divide Trio Mountain, probably creativity, right? We just play War Marshal here. Very nice that they can't binding my Vial. We love a 0-mana time lock also, although not really the best for testing. Oh, I could have also violated my Hordemaster in response to this trigger, which probably would have been a bit better. Now I think I'll just cast the Hordemaster, attack for 1, and then try to Vial and Snoop into turn, spike a land and win. Oh, I don't even need to spike a land because I have the Vial, right? Auntie's Hovel exiled. I was speaking for a mod for the Goblins Discord. I have to agree with chatters about holding Snoop in that hand. Okay, we can agree to disagree, but I also, you know, always enemies with the Discord aficionados. I don't know, like at the very least, like did you not hear like my thought process for the line, and like surely there was like at least something from what I said that you you could agree with. We can find some common ground. Okay, weird game. I typically cut like the 3rd Harbinger here and the Prospector. What was the key from them? I don't really know. I mean, they maybe like just kept 2 lands and like Fable, Creativity or something. Never found 3rd land. They also maybe had Binding. I thought they could cast Binding, but they couldn't. That could be something. Very lopsided matches today. If we were gonna play a Battlecry Goblin, what would we play it over? It's cool that I can give haste to your Snoop, although that's like super corner case. Maybe over the Pashalik Mons? Over one Marshal? I don't know. I always hate like cutting cards that are really good with Marshal, like Battlecry Goblin, for like a different card. You know what I mean? Munitions? I would never ever play less than 4 Munitions Experts. There's not really any synergy with Fable making Goblin. I mean, there's some synergy, but it's like you can't really play Fable in your Vial deck, I think. Just play 61. You could honestly play 61, but I think you should. Mons or Prospector. I played 22 lands. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, I really like. I'm a big believer in. I played 24 back before Hordemaster came out, and I cut 1 land. I was always a big believer in like 24. Right on time, Aether Vial. Is Goblin's consistent enough to be above 60 cards? Well, it has tons of tutors, right? You have Matron, Harbinger. So you like, you know, it is the kind of deck that it's like kind of okay to. And it's also one interesting thing about being above 60 cards is that you're gonna draw your Kiki-Jikis less when you're above 60. Okay, so let's go Matron for Orvar. It is worse to play more than 60 cards in your Aether Vial deck, though. You really want to have 60. It's also like if we're going, if we're adding like 2 goblins to the deck, like then we're going up a land. I think it's up to 24. So Flashback Striker Rich. What do you think about Combo Breach? I think Combo Breach is a good deck. We played a non-Urza Saga variant of it in our testing that I think is okay. Not a deck I love, but a deck that I like. Wow, Sling-Gang on top is funny. I just maybe get another Matron. Oh, sorry, another Harbinger. I'll get another Matron. Like I can Matron and put another Orvar into my hand at instant speed. Maybe could come up. 8 with Yorion. I wish. We missed your chance. Well, Lord of the Rings cards I'm looking training modern. I made a PowerPoint talking about it. I'm gonna try to record with it this afternoon and get it up on YouTube this afternoon. Hopefully, maybe can't do it until tomorrow. Take both of these up. Jol Matron. I want to cast the Snoop first in case I find Hordemaster. I guess I should have tapped Cavern, but I'm not really used to them playing like a lot of Mana Leagues 3-mans these days, although they do sometimes. Putting Orvar on top would have been cool, specifically if they go for creativity for 2, since our first Orvar would draw the second. Oh, that is kind of interesting, yeah. Kind of, I think that's a pretty unrepresentative. Do you have a draft of Samwise deck we've been willing to share? I mean, we've talked about it a lot. I also like, I'll be streaming with it when when it comes out. Typically wait to post the list till I stream with them. Misty Rainforest, usually of course an interactive deck. Could be Living End, and if it is Living End, what do I want to do? Play War Marshal, maybe. I think I'm just gonna jam the Snoop. My hand is like so mana intensive, I don't have that much mana. If I try considered scam, I mean, so I have of course considered all of like the tier 1 decks, scam being one of them, of course. We haven't played any scam on stream, but it is, you know, not a deck I've rolled out either. Lord of the Rings Limited look fun. I don't know. I don't really know how to like evaluate a limited set without playing it first. Maybe it's just because I have like such constructed brain and I'm like never evaluating a set through the lens of limited, but I don't know. Stupid old school goblins, let's be old. Yeah, well, it's like the difference between this and the Tyvar builds we've been playing is kind of the distinction on the title. Yeah, I can Gimli. Play Escape Shift will win PT, trust me. I Escape Shift is fine for sure. Well, this is hard to hammer out, I think. I do know that all the Bring to Light Escape Shift gamers, like, they love their deck. They're like, my deck is the best deck in Modern. Sad top deck. Probably going to game 2. Happy to have all these Chalices post-board, I guess. Considering Morning Marauder already cutting with it, going down Ringleader. Yeah, I don't think you ever want to cut the first Ringleader. Replace Hordemaster. And the thing is, like, Hordemaster is almost definitely better than Moria Marauder. I could be wrong, but I would think that you would maybe just try cutting the Pashalik Mons. I always feel like this card is more of a flex spot than anything. Oh, they didn't have Violent Outburst. Oh, sorry, I should have sacked the Mogg Fanatic. I was, you know, absorbed in thought. Mogg Fanatic seems bad. I know you think it's good. Can you explain how it's good? You as the Goblins player are like much weaker to Ragavan decks when you don't play Mogg Fanatic. Mogg Fanatic is also better when you remember to sack it. Is an important note here. But you are much weaker to Ragavan decks without it. I'm probably just gonna Pashalik Mons or sorry, Matron for Sling-Gang and try to set up for Mons plus Sling-Gang. Could also attack, and if they Violent Outburst, I can Munitions Expert or Rhino, and then trade. Like, my mana is like a lot less efficient this turn, I get to kill one. Mogg Fanatic is also nice in like the Dwarven Mind creative, the Dwarven Mind metagame too. It's also like a combo piece if you draw your Sling-Gangs, which isn't like that relevant, but is a little relevant. I'll also say this, like This was something like during like the last trophy race when I was playing Ignoble Hierarch in this deck over Mogg Fanatic. I was losing a lot with Goblins because the card is just like so much worse against the Ragavan decks and I think just worse in general. And when I cut the Hierarchs for the Fanatics, I started winning with Goblins. And it's just like, to me, it really is the difference between like Goblins being like a winning deck and a losing deck. Yeah, it's also better. Yeah, better when you ping your opponent. Glorious return of Shijo and Shinka. One day, hopefully. Honestly, maybe Scam should be playing Shijo and Shinka still. I know they play like less Croxas. Grindy game, huh? Grindy game. What about Mount Doom? I mean, I don't think Mount Doom is like very good unless you have a legendary artifact in your deck, which this deck doesn't have. It's just like it's a shit or not a Shivered Reef. It's a red-black. It's a pain land that has like very small upside of pinging your opponent for 4 mana, which to me is not super exciting. Well, they just haven't had Violent Outburst this whole time, so it's like, let's not live in fear of the top deck, I guess. Oh yeah, you can't even tap it for colorless, right? Yeah, they're rhino-less rhinos so far. You think about playing Uro and Days Undoing in the same deck? I'm sorry, Legacy players, I have no idea what's going on over there. Probably fine. No! After a million draw steps, they drew a Rhino. So unlucky. Seen the Rakdos that Chalice top rated? I did not know. What's the idea of Rakdos over Grixis? Alright, gonna be a tough one to win. They drew another Footfall's Return. Kind of a fun draw. I'm gonna tap like this so like Dispute doesn't counter my Munitions Expert. It's just Scan with Shadow. Oh, a little bit less exciting, maybe. It's probably best for me actually to go Munitions Expert, kill a Rhino, or 2 damage to your Rhino, block a Rhino, and then try to take 8 down to 4, but at least I have a Rhino dead, and then I get the Hordemaster trigger, just because I have like all these Mogg Fanatics in the deck that kill the Borrower. So to me, as far as Death Shadow goes, like I really think you need to be a deck that's like very mana efficient. I think that if you're not a deck that's very mana efficient, in what world are you not attacking with these Rhinos? What the fuck is happening that you've chosen to not attack with these Rhinos on this board? Just ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. Rhino's a tough matchup. Psalm with the 18. Thank you. Think of Flowering the White Tree and Shoal Humans, Thalia, Adeline. You can play Kythian and Boromir. I mean, Boromir's a good card. Kythian sucks. Kythian's like, I'm not trying to register that card. Opponent doesn't want to give me draws. Even if they know my last card is Expert, they're supposed to make this attack. It's whatever. It's just like, just a bad play, I think. Got all the ones. I don't really like Prospector in this matchup at all. Just all the ones for the Chalices. Yeah, but I think Flowering the White Tree is like okay in there. You probably are not playing 4 copies in the Shoal Humans build. It's gonna be something you have to play test. I mean, it's also like, you know, anthems in general in Modern are not good. Like, I'm trying to think of a playable anthem. I can't really think of one. Not attacking there was 100% correct. You have no else with the Shardless, even if Ringleader doesn't do it. Maybe you're right. Force of Virtue, sure. No, I think you'd be right about that. What if I draw Kiki and copy Munitions Expert? Yeah, I think that's an outright. I get to kill a Rhino, double block a Rhino, take 10. I think I'm still alive. Can take a little bit less if I have to chump also. Let's mulligan this. Nonsense hand. So I guess I don't want to play around ice by playing my Mire here on turn 1, since I don't want them to fire my Snoop. So like, I'd rather them ice my land than fire my Snoop. Do you think a significant amount of luck has to be involved to win back-to-back World Championships like Shahar, or a World Championship followed by a PT like Nathan? Yeah, I'd say so. Not like, you have to have like a lot of like skill, of course, but it's like the classic like luck skill victory, right? You need a blend of both, and you need a lot of luck to win back-to-back ones. But you also need you also can't win a big Magic tournament without being in tune with the format and, you know, have a degree of playing really well. It's It is definitely both. Intangible Virtues playable? Sorry. I haven't seen that card in a long time. It's at the very least like not like the kind of card you register at a Pro Tour, you know? I don't think that you win any Magic tournament without being very lucky, but you also don't win any Magic tournament without like, you know, a lot of preparation, and so it's just like, it's definitely both. Is it better to hold Chalice right until their turn 3 to reduce likelihood of them brazen borrowing it? It's like a factor of petty theft versus force of negation, and I don't know if they're gonna have a lot of force of negations post board, but typically I like to just play the first Chalice on turn 1. It's also because it's just like not that hard for them to like, even if you turn 2 the Chalice, petty theft into violent outburst. Is flowering playable? Yeah. Kinda. It's not bad. Could have cast the Harbinger, I suppose. But I'm kind of like down to play a longer game. Try to play a longer game. I don't think I'm playing around Force of Vigor plus Violent Outburst either. This is kind of bad into like a potential Fury, of course. Is Semblance Naval playable? I think that like Timeless Lotus and 8-key are both likely better at the moment. I could be wrong, though. Maybe I'm not supposed to shuffle the Harbinger. I already have one, though. I'd like kind of love to hit a land. There really was, and we did hit a land. There's not really any point in shuffling last turn because I have no 1-drops in my deck. Oh yeah, for Murktide. I think that's actually right. The One Ring seems stupidly overpowered. Thank you! Like, you were literally, like, the first person in the chat to say that. Like, that. I share this opinion, too. I think the One Ring is really nuts. I don't know that I've seen a single other person in the chat come in and say that. The card is, like, really ridiculous, I think. Okay, game 2. Waffle, 27 months ago, thank you. Yeah, protection from everything also seems so relevant in like the expected metagame too. Like countering the Archon triggers is crazy. Yeah, just me and you, fake Mark. Makes you invisible. Oh, I just got that was the flavor of the One Ring. It's making you invisible. Is it? Is that it? I don't know. Yeah, it has its own slide. The first slide even. The presentation. Yeah, I'm gonna be recording this tonight. I don't know. It's like sometimes, like on some of these videos, I can just knock it out in the like first recording, and I'm always like really happy when that happens. Like my mom video took me like 5 hours to record. I had to do so many like cuts and stuff. Just kind of depends. I don't. Is that supposed to be it? Maybe it is. What do you use for editing? I use like you know, very professional software, and I don't just like cut the clips and smush them together in like the default Windows editor. Because that would be, you know, kind of embarrassing as a pro streamer, pro content creator. Yeah, definitely been a great month for Magic. Yeah, it's fine. Like, it gets the job done, and like, you know, I am doing so much. I'm doing so much. I'm not spending. It takes me a long time to make the stupid PowerPoint. It takes me a long time to record. It would be really nice to also spend a lot of time editing, but it's just like of all the time I can be spending on content, I think it's like the least efficient by a lot. Okay, so spin to Rhinos. If you got protection from everything, what ways are there left for your opponent to win? They can, I guess they could like Tasha's Hideous Laughter you. They could Thassa's Oracle, but you only get protection from everything until the end of turn. It's not like a permanent protection from everything. Yeah, poison shouldn't work though. You can't. You don't take damage from the poison, do you? Okay, I guess we do want to draw Pashalik Mons and have it go with our Sling-Gang. Yeah, proliferate would work. Kind of a very corner case though. Yeah. Questing Beast would get around protection. DaVinci Resolve, that's an editing software. I could maybe take a look. I don't know. I really want to get the video out before pre-releases. Today is the best day because it's like the day before pre-releases too. Is trying to find a land not better so we don't fall behind it in tempo if they get rid of Chalice. I mean, if they get rid of Chalice, we're kind of boned anyways. And the Pashalik Mons plays really well with this Sling-Gang Lieutenant that's in our hand, you know? That I think the Pashalik Mons, at a very simple level, the Pashalik Mons is much better than the average draw, and so I think you keep it on top. I don't think it's too much more complicated than it's better than the average draw here. Questing Beast finally be playable modern. There was a time I played it. I played it in John Bitterrange, thinking that it was there was some reason I really liked it at the time. I can't remember. Cast Final Outburst. They have something. I wonder if they have an answer to the Chalice, and they don't want to answer my Chalice now because they're worried about me having a second Chalice in hand. Argument is that slimming Sling Game makes it possible to kill their rhinos with Munitions Expert as your arguments too. Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's super far away this decision point between keeping Pashalik or not. But my thinking is if they have an answer to Chalice plus rhinos, this could be hard to win anyways. You know what I mean? Harvard Yard with the 42, Bizarro with the 29, and Coderific with the 25. What is going on that y'all are all resubscribing back to back like this? So what am I gonna matron for? I wish I could matron for a land. I'm definitely casting the matron, of course. Could get a Snoop. Could get a second Sling-Gang. Second Sling-Gang's kind of juicy. I think I need something that's good to do next turn. I honestly wish I had a 1-drop I could get. But I did side them all out. We get Mogg War Marshal actually. Yeah, I think War Marshal with the Pashalik Mons and Sling-Gang makes a lot of sense. Any Sultai Crab and Golem lists? The Goblin that returns to your hand, that card looks really unplayable to me, to be honest. I'd love to be wrong because it's cool, but it don't look good. What are the options available to qualify for the Pro Tour Barcelona Modern event? I think at this point in time, I don't think there are any other ways to qualify, right? Because it was there's some Pro Tour qualifiers at other Magic Cons, which have already happened. The regional championships, which have already happened. I don't believe that. I think that you've probably missed your window. If there was another window, I would also know about it. Okay. Exciting. So Sling-Gang by itself right now is 9 damage. Yeah, 9 damage. So let's. I could go Munitions Expert plus Munitions Expert here. Oh, what the fuck? Why are they responding to my fetch? Oh, what the hell? Okay, so now let's go Munitions Expert Subtlety, and then use the Pashalik Mons trigger for damage on the Rhino, and then Munitions Expert a Rhino. No super qualifiers on Moto. I mean, there's no direct qualification anymore on Magic Online. There's no more you can just play a Pro Tour qualifier on a weekend and qualify. That's not a thing anymore. But you can qualify through on Magic Online through the Mox series. You can only qualify for your regional championships on Magic Online. Okay, Punt City with the 19 months. Thank you. And Time Stretch TV, good username with the 4, Canned with the 22. Yeah, which is I obviously don't love that, but it also is what it is. But they have a Violent Outburst here, which kind of sucks, but it's gonna be hard to beat that. Dang. Got 2 cards in their hand. Not a lot we can beat. Yeah, why didn't they save their subtlety? Now that you mention it. So we're gonna quadruple block and hope they got nothing. Wooded Foothills is some of nothing. The Pashalik was still in play? Right. Okay, they still have had nothing. They've also used 3 of their Fire Ices, so like they have less just I win cards here. What the fuck? Can even beat a borrower, or not beat, but we're not just dead to borrower. It's Golgari, Smeagol, and Mill Crabs. Oh, I can't remember what the Golgari Smeagol does. I remember I didn't like it very much. My opponent literally just didn't have anything. This is crazy. This is... what? You ever said this deck in the last build? We're not playing Tyvar in this build. Just kind of back to classic Rakdos, which I think is a lot more resilient, which I like, of course. Ring Temps until you mill a land, then get land in play? I mean, is the idea literally that it just, like, triggers landfall for crabs? Because that's not very exciting, I guess. You're milling them too? Okay. Let's sack 1 goblin so I'm not dead to top deck fire. This gives us the GGs. Okay, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Honestly, losing just to Enchantress is kind of nice. Beating Rhinos, beating Creativity is nice. Although, I don't like, as far as like testing goes, I felt that we got very lucky in both the Rhinos and the Creativity matchup. Although our game one hand against Goblins is a very good deck. Goblins is a very good deck. I'm a long-time Goblins believer. I wouldn't say you got crazy lucky there, but maybe. I know I was super lucky there. They had like 2 cards in their hand, and I was dead to Rhinos or removal spells, and they just didn't have either. I feel like that's like even like textbook good luck, you know what I mean? What's the general metagame expect the PT? Okay, so don't tell anybody I leaked this, but we as the testing team think that the metagame is going to be entirely mill. We've done some scouting, we've done some talking, and we think that 100% of players at the PT are playing mill. And we were like, you know, and we were shocked, but the data doesn't lie, and so we're, you know, just adapting our strategies to. We're playing mill too, of course, but we're going to be playing like 4 Merkles with the main deck. Yeah, it's very odd metagame. Because like, why would we not play mill? The best deck by a lot. Yeah, Battle of Blitzmill is the counter. But Kozilek, why would I? It's for surgical, we split for surgical. Big brain. This is why we stream. Oh. My standing desk is not wanting to go up. But I can feel it going down. I'll ignore that until later. Goodbye, sweet Mogg War Marshal. Can activate Pashalik Mons, maybe? Reveal an expedition map. Get in for 4, which is not great. Cheese Humper to give me the 17 months. Take this goblin, put 2 where it was. What do you think of Cauldron Familiar, Viserys, Samwise Gamgee deck? I mean, I think it's got a lot of potential. We've been talking a lot about it on the stream. Mostly, I think it's odd how people like are trying to build a deck with like an all-in combo build. I think the deck is like could be much better with just like value food with 1 Viserys here as a tutor target. At least that's how I'm at the time of making this comment. Plan on building the deck and. They tutored up a Blast Zone. And time will tell. Oh, I guess... So I should have attacked... This was a mistake. I should have attacked with my goblins. And just sacked the one that gets blocked. Oh boy. Asking you to like Scam, Creativity, Murktide. I would add 1-2 copies of Ringleader to help in the long game, so I'm just doing that. Scam, Creativity, Murktide. I don't know. I'm a big believer in just 1 Ringleader in the deck. What would you cut for... obviously, like, I'm... Scam, Creativity, Murktide. I do think I'd be very popular. What would you cut to add the Ringleader? Are they just dead if I draw a goblin? I don't think so. Are they? Because I 5 goblins, put them to 11. I mean, like, I would need a 0 mana sack outlet, right? So Matron would also work maybe if I get Skirk Prospector here. But they also get to tutor something, right? Like it's not that it's not that like they have nothing else here either. Yeah, they're getting a Pithing Needle. I don't know if they name Mons or if they name... I'm gonna target them here. I could target the Karn, but I still have the option of killing the Karn. They do name Mons. They have 3 cards in their hand. They can make a construct too. That's a 2/2. While I'm casting this. So let's send 1, 2, 3, and then 2 at my opponent. Are there any videos you playing like this one? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think there's like a team coverage match I was on, but I'm like just kind of in the background. I don't think there's like I think that's my only other Star City feature match, and I don't know if I have any other feature matches hanging around. Okay, do I send? I think I send both at Karn. I could send 1 at Karn, 1 at Construct though. I feel like unlocking my Vial to draw Matron is pretty good though. Oh, but then I get the 1 damage from the token, so we used to get to kill both. I'm kind of low on Pashalik, so 1 copy here, and go down to 3 War Marshals. We split up Skirk and Fanatics. I don't know, like that's okay. I'm mostly just happy to be bouncing ideas around. I'm just so shocked at like the amount of comments that are suggesting to cut a War Marshal. It's like to me, I feel like the 4 War Marshals, like the deck always feels worse without the full 4. They are cards that like really power up, you know, the Sling-Gang plan and the Munitions Expert plan. And I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying you can never ever do it, but it's definitely not something that like it's something I'm surprised to see so many people suggest doing. So they're dead to Munitions Expert because we can expert itself. But yeah, I agree that Mons is definitely cuttable, but I like it too. Like there's a lot of games I think where like you go Mons plus Sling-Gang. Mons plus Sling-Gang is like how you close out the game. Like this may even be one of those, right? Summoned it to my hand. Although just Sling-Gang by itself just does the job. Yeah, the Mons is, I don't know, I think the first Mons is good. I think 1 Ringleader is like the correct number too, where like Hordemaster gives you like in theory so many extra cards. So you have like not even counting Harbinger, but you can Harbinger for like I don't know, it's like let's count the Harbinger. Like these are you have like 20 card advantage goblins or 21. Plus I guess Munitions Expert, also a card advantage goblin. Mogg War Marshal, card advantage goblin. Like it's literally like 29 card advantage spells. So I don't know. I just don't really feel like you need the extra Ringleader. But I'm definitely happy to hear the feedback. Probably want the Prospector over in this matchup over War Marshal. Oh yeah, Sting Scourger. I should have a Sting Scourger on the side for Murktide. I think that's true. I remember I said this like a little while ago. I just forgot. I think over the 4th Magus. I also used to like having the I used to like having the 4th copy of Boggart Harbinger in the side for matchups like this. Meat Pop the 6th thing, thank you. Thing is good enough to main deck one. I mean, the whole thing is like the list is just really tight. So like I'm honestly like not hating the idea of being like above 60 cards, but it sounds maybe a little lost in the sauce. Discord Orvar to Smasher, big brain. But don't have Shadow Spear. I think Shadow Spear is not very common in Etron. They sometimes play the Collar, the Death Touch Lifelink Collar. 1 Sting, 1 Battlecry, 1 Ringleader. I honestly don't hate the idea of like 1 Sting, 1 Battlecry, 2nd Ringleader, 25 lands in like a 65 deck. The problem is the big problem is Vial. Like I honestly wouldn't. I would just not mind it at all. If, like, that just means we're drawing Vial less often. Cool, good 24 months, thank you. I mean, the upside of, like... Yeah, with so many tutors above 60 is pretty juicy. We can take a look at it. Ding, 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 ding! Let's fucking go, dude. Okay, so I mean, for winning our first league, losing only to like the unwinnable Enchantress matchup is kind of exciting. Let's get weird with it. Let's go above 60. Yeah, the Field of All Mill, huh? Ooh. Okay, so I think that the second copy of Den of the Bugbear is like...